The Senate will come to order. The Secretary will call the roll.
Senator Buck. Here. Senator Cannizzaro. Senator Daly. Here. Senator Doñate. Here. Senator Dondera-Loop. Here. Senator Flores. Here. Senator Goycochea. Here. Senator Hammond. Here. Senator Hansen. Here. Senator Harris. Here. Senator Krasner. Senator Lang. Here. Senator Neal. Senator Wynn. Here. Senator Orenshaw. Here. Senator Pizzina. Senator Scheibel. Here. Senator Severs-Gansert. Senator Spearman. Here. Senator Stone. Here. Senator Titus. Here.
Senator Cannizzaro.
Thank you, Mr. President. Please mark Senator Neal excused.
Thank you. Please rise for the prayer by member Steve Weiss, First Church of Christ, Carson City, Nevada, and please remain standing for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Hello, let's take this moment to pray together in dedicated communion with our Creator, the one infinite Spirit. Our Heavenly Father, our divine parent, we love you with our whole mind, our whole being, and all our strength. We acknowledge your eternal and ever-present kingdom as the ideal government we fervently desire to see manifested and expressed on earth today in all we think, say, and do. We ask you and thank you for all your goodness in supplying our needs. May we feel your guidance, protection, courage, strength, patience, kindness, and generosity. May we reflect your unconditional love as we consider the needs of others, such that we may wisely walk in your path and forgive as you forgive. Thank you for leading us in your ways of grace, harmony, and health, and revealing effective solutions for the benefit of our great state. God, we acknowledge you as the infinite, almighty source of love, life, truth, and intelligence. And overall, we thank you for showing us how to walk in your way. Amen.
I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Order of Business 3, reading and approval of the journal. By previous order of the Senate, the reading of the journal is dispensed with, and the President and Secretary are authorized to make the necessary corrections and additions. Order of Business 4, reports of committees.
Mr. President, your Committee on Commerce and Labor, to which were referred Assembly Bills numbers 21, 27, 29, 78, 107, 146, 236, and 276, has had the same under consideration and begs leave to report the same back with the recommendation do pass. Signed, Senator Pat Spearman, Chair. Mr. President, your Committee on Judiciary, to which were referred Assembly Bills numbers 354 and 355, has had the same under consideration and begs leave to report the same back with the recommendation do pass. Signed, Senator Melanie Scheibel, Chair. End of reports.
Order of Business 9, motions, resolutions, and notices. Senator Cannizzaro.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move that we take Senate Bills 159, 167, and 275 from their place on general file and place them on general file for the next legislative day.
All right, you've heard the motion. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, nay. Motion carries. Senator Cannizzaro.
Thank you, Mr. President. We have a large number of appropriations bills that were just introduced in our Finance Committee on the Senate floor today, and so in the interest of time, the Secretary will read all of these bills for introduction consecutively. When the reading has been completed, Senator Dondera-Loop will move that all these bills be referred to the Committee on Finance in one motion. If anyone objects to a referral, that can be addressed after the reading.
Order Business 10, introduction, first reading, and reference.
Senate Bill 453 by Finance makes appropriations to restore the balances in the emergency account and the contingency account. Refer to same. Senate Bill 454 by Finance makes appropriations to the Office of the Governor for the replacement of certain equipment and computer hardware and associated software and licenses to upgrade a computer operating system. Refer to same. Senate Bill 455 by Finance makes an appropriation to the Office of the Lieutenant Governor for the replacement of computer hardware and associated software. Refer to same. Senate Bill 456 by Finance makes appropriations to the Office of Finance and the Office of the Governor for the costs of leases and furniture for state offices and training for state employees. Refer to same. Senate Bill 457 by Finance makes an appropriation to the Office of Finance and the Office of the Governor for certain costs related to the Kirk Kerkorian School of Medicine at the University of Nevada, Las Vegas, and costs for interdisciplinary opportunities for health students at the University of Nevada, Las Vegas. Refer to same. Senate Bill 458 by Finance makes an appropriation to the Office of the State Treasurer for the replacement of computer hardware and associated software. Refer to same. Senate Bill 459 by Finance makes an appropriation to the account for pensions for silicosis, diseases related to asbestos, and other disabilities. Refer to same. Senate Bill 460 by Finance makes an appropriation to the Office of the State Controller for a debt collection information technology system. Refer to same. Senate Bill 461 by Finance makes appropriations to the Office of the State Controller for the replacement of computer hardware and associated software and certain equipment. Refer to same. Senate Bill 462 by Finance makes an appropriation to the Nevada Indian Commission for the replacement of computer hardware and associated software. Refer to same. Senate Bill 463 by Finance makes an appropriation to the Nevada Arts Council within the Department of Tourism and Cultural Affairs for the replacement of computer hardware and associated software. Refer to same. Senate Bill 464 by Finance makes an appropriation to and authorizes the expenditure of money by the Office of the State Public Defender within the Department of Indigent Defense Services for the replacement of computer hardware and associated software. Refer to same. Senate Bill 465 by Finance makes an appropriation to the Department of Taxation for the costs of a feasibility study and requests for proposals for a real-time sales tax point-of-sale system. Refer to same. Senate Bill 466 by Finance makes an appropriation to the Department of Taxation for the costs of a contract with an information technology consultant to perform the backlog of updates to the unified tax system. Refer to same. Senate Bill 467 by Finance makes an appropriation to the Department of Taxation for the relocation of its Carson City office. Refer to same. Senate Bill 468 by Finance makes appropriations to the State Department of Agriculture for the replacement of computer hardware and associated software and deferred maintenance projects. Refer to same. Senate Bill 469 by Finance makes an appropriation to the Nevada Gaming Commission for employee training and registration for fees and registration fees for conferences. Refer to same. Senate Bill 470 by Finance makes appropriations to the State Department of Conservation and Natural Resources for deferred maintenance projects. Refer to same. Senate Bill 471 by Finance makes an appropriation to the Division of State Parks of the State Department of Conservation and Natural Resources for a visitor center at the Valley of Fire State Park. Refer to same. Senate Bill 472 by Finance makes an appropriation to the Division of Water Resources of the State Department of Conservation and Natural Resources for projects at the South Fork Dam. Refer to same. Senate Bill 473 by Finance makes an appropriation to the Division of Water Resources of the State Department of Conservation and Natural Resources for a study of extreme rainfall events. Refer to same. Senate Bill 474 by Finance makes an appropriation to the Outdoor Education and Recreation Grant Program account. Refer to same. Senate Bill 475 by Finance makes appropriations to and authorizes the expenditure of money by the Department of Employment, Training, and Rehabilitation for the replacement of computer hardware and associated software. Refer to same. Senate Bill 476 by Finance makes appropriations to and authorizes the expenditure of money by the Office of the Military for facilities maintenance projects and the replacement of purchases of certain equipment and computer hardware and associated software. Refer to same. End of bills.
Senator Dondero Loop.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move that Senate Bills 453 through 476 be referred to the Committee on Finance.
Are there any objections to the referrals? Seeing none, so ordered.
That concludes Order of Business 10.
Order of Business 12, second reading.
Senate Bill 452, introduced by Finance, revises provisions governing the allocation of the proceeds of the Basic Governmental Services Tax. The people of the state of Nevada, represented in Senate Assembly, to enact as follows. Section 1 into Section 1.
Are there any amendments to the bill?
There are none.
Senate Bill 452 is ordered to the general file.
That concludes Order of Business 12 and the business of the desk for this legislative day.
All right, Order of Business 16, remarks on the floor, introduction of guests. Senator Pizzina.
Thank you, Mr. President. As many of you know, I'm a proud member of the tourism and hospitality industry, and I'm excited to share that this week, May 7th through the 13th of 2023, marks the 40th anniversary of National Travel and Tourism Week. In Nevada, there are a plethora of benefits the travel and tourism industry offers, including domestic and international goodwill, the opportunity to view and visit natural and contemporary wonders of limitless variety, and outstanding cultural and sporting events, including a few I think a few of you are familiar with coming up, F1 and the Super Bowl. This week also is a time to recognize and celebrate adventurers, tourists, travelers, and those who earn their livelihood through serving them. In 2021, the Silver State welcomed more than 43.2 million visitors who directly spent $39.4 billion across the state's economy and generated $4.4 billion in state and local taxes. Tourism employs more than 355,000 people here in the state who rely on the industry for their livelihood, a number that represents nearly 20% of all jobs in Nevada. Therefore, be it proclaimed that National Travel and Tourism Week, May 7th through the 13th of 2023, provides an opportunity for Nevadans across the state to recognize that travel and tourism are essential industries that benefit businesses, lead to economic prosperity, and foster mutual understanding. Welcoming visitors from near and far has always been and will always remain the enduring culture of the travel and tourism industry in Nevada. Thank you.
Senator Severs-Gansert.
Thank you, Mr. President. Would everyone please stand? With me today, I have individuals who work with the Nevada Small Business Development Center, which is statewide, and I was fortunate for work for the SBDC when I was getting my master's in business at the university, so I understand their work helping businesses with their business plans, helping them with small business SBA loans, and all sorts of different information. The person who is the director right now is Winnie Dowling. Winnie has been with the SBDC for 30 years. She is the state director. The SBDC has 12 offices and is in the state and helps people start and grow businesses. And they originally founded in 1985. And then I have Bonnie Drinkwater, who's a local attorney and a partner with one of Reno's largest firms, Drinkwater Eaton Law Offices. Her legal practice includes business and corporate law, employment law, medical legal law, and intellectual property law. She's a native Nevadan, an active member of our community. She has served on more than 30 boards, including as chair of the statewide Nevada Small Business Development Center. Next, we have Jake Carrico. Jake is the Northern Nevada Regional Manager for the Small Business Development Center. In his role, Jake advises startups and existing businesses, oversees a team of advisors, and leads the Nevada SBDC's strategic planning initiative. He holds a bachelor's degree in business administration with a dual major in economics and finance from the university, and also an MBA, and his parents are actually longtime friends of mine. And then we have a client of theirs, Jared Schultz. Jared is the owner and operator of Sierra Nevada Structural, a reputable home and commercial inspection business. The company was established in May of 2019 and has since gained a solid reputation in the industry for providing reliable and thorough services to clients across the northern part of our state. The business is a proud member of Made in Nevada, a nonprofit organization that promotes locally made products and services. Would everyone please help me make them feel welcome?
Senator Stone.
Thank you, Mr. President. Good afternoon, colleagues. I'm honored to have with me today Katie Jorquez, who's one of my mentees from the Northern Nevada Development Authority's Teen Intern Program. She lives in Spanish Springs in Washoe County. Katie is a homeschooled high school junior who is earning college-level credits and working towards a degree in political science. In the future, she hopes to pursue a career in civics and public service. In her free time, she enjoys art and competitive debate, having won competitions in both. So please, let's give her a warm Nevada welcome. Thank you.
Senator Hansen.
Thank you, Mr. President. We had a wonderful prayer this morning from the First Church of Christ. You know, I don't know if everybody was aware of it, but last Thursday was National Prayer Day. So I actually asked our staff to give me a list of all the different religions that have offered prayers in this building. We had St. Peter's Episcopal Church, Hilltop Community Church, Bethlehem Lutheran Church, Airport Road of Christ, Church of Christ, First Christian Church, Temple Sinai, St. Peter's Episcopal Church, the Catholic Diocese of Las Vegas, St. Anthony Greek Orthodox Church, Hope Crossing Community Church, the Bethlehem Lutheran Church, Nevada House of Prayer, the Pax Christian Church, the Bridge Church, the Universal Society of Hinduism. We also had the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints and the Reno Hillside Foursquare Church. And the reason I bring it up is, in my lifetime, there's often been discussions about organized religion. And a very common thing that people have said to me is, I don't really need an organized church, basically, to tell me how to worship God. And I agree completely with that sentiment, I really do. But what I think people overlook is the tremendous amount of good that these churches do, because they're really there to meet the needs of others. And you'll notice in his prayer this morning, he said that. We had and I'm going to focus on one for just a minute. Catholic Community Services came to my office. And I don't know if everybody else have had that same opportunity. If they do, I hope you listen to them. Now think about this. It's just in northern Nevada, and this is one organized religious group. They provide every day 1,200 meals, 7 days a week. They deliver 10,000 to 10,000 households every month. They have delivered over 3 million pounds of food. The people that came and saw me were Nick Claich, who was a very prominent person in the Reno area, Marie Baxter, and a Catholic priest, and his name is Chuck Durante. And I happen to know I call him Father Chuck, because my kids all went to Catholic high schools. And Father Chuck was there. Now, Father Chuck is obviously a different kind of father than I am. But he has been a father figure to literally thousands of kids in those schools, and he was always a constant reminder that there's more to life than eat, drink, and be merry. But more importantly with Father Chuck, the things that we don't see with people like him and all of the priests and rabbis and all of the religious leaders that come and share these prayers with us every day is the amount of good they do for people that are struggling in our societies. The number of people that feel lonely and abandoned and are addicted, have all sorts of human problems. It is these religious communities and these religious leaders that go out of their way to help people that are down and out. Jesus said, if you have done it unto one of the least of these, my brethren, you have done it unto me. And sometimes when we start thinking about organized religion, we sometimes miss the bigger picture. I'll give you one more example. A block from my plumbing shop in Sparks is St. Vincent's Thrift Store, a former JCPenney outlet store. The largest group in poverty in America today are single women with children. And so I've been observing the types of folks that go into St. Vincent's Thrift Store, and a disproportionate share of them, I can tell, are young women with children. And when those children go with their moms into these stores that are provided by Catholic Charities, the children experience basically a shopping experience like you would in any other store. What they don't realize, though, is the Catholics are actually providing the goods and services in those stores at literally pennies on the dollar. And one of the things I found out as well is if people are truly down and out, they will literally give the people the services they need. Now, for those children who, the children don't know that their mothers are probably staying up at night worrying about how they're going to make their rent payment or how they're going to put food on the table. But when those kids get older and somebody starts talking about organized religions and whether or not they're, you don't need organized religions, they say, well, that what you say about them may be true. But the reality is, when my mom was struggling years ago, it was the Catholic Church that helped provide her with the fundamentals to help raise me. And I think when you think about that and you multiply those types of experiences for who knows how long, it helps explain why an organization, an institutional organization like the Catholic Church has been around for 1,500 years. And why the Lutherans and the rabbis and all the various churches, they provide some fundamental services. And for those that may be a little more skeptical about religion, just look at it from a totally pragmatic standpoint. If the Catholic Church and all these other religions on a smaller scale are doing these sorts of things, in the absence of them, we would have to raise taxation and we would have to force the state to provide the same services that these people are providing out of the concepts of love, charity, and service. When the state provides this, though, it's based out of taxation and compulsion. So when you see these differences, and when we have these religious leaders come and give our prayers, I've gone out of my way whenever I can to thank them for their prayers, but more importantly, to thank them for the services they provide in our communities for all those folks that aren't as well off as we are and struggle with so many human difficulties. Grief, abandonment, loneliness, you go down the list. It's the Father Chucks of the world that do so much good in our society. So whenever we can, especially when you hear people badmouth organized religions, whether we realize it or not, those are fundamental, backbone, foundational things in our societies and do so much good behind the scenes. So in my heart today, I have a little prayer for all the Father Chucks and the Mr. Weiss who gave his prayer today, and all those people in all these organized religions that are going out of their way day after day, week after week, without any really thank yous other than knowing in their heart they're doing what is the right thing in a theological concept. They are helping take care of the poor and the needy, which is a fundamental concept as far as I can tell in every religion, whether it's the Hindus, the Christians, the Jews, whatever it may be. So I want to get that on the record today because I've been thinking a lot about that. I want to just say thank you so much for the people that do so much, for those in our societies that have so little. So join me today and have a little prayer in your heart and thank all those religious people. And when those people come in here and say a little prayer, if you have a chance to just shake their hand, please thank them for what they do, because they do so much behind the scenes that you and I will never experience. So with that, Mr. President, I would just say, Thursday was day of prayer, but in my heart today, I'm going to have a little prayer for all those great people that do so much for our societies and for organized religions, whatever they may be in our society, and all the great things they've done for our country. Thank you, Mr. President.
Senator Cannizzaro.
Thank you, Mr. President. With that, I would move that the Senate stand in recess until the hour of 4:45.
Thank you. We are in recess.